Okay, so this project is pretty straightforward. You guys are going to start working on mastery of the pen tool. But before we get rolling with this, you guys need to pull up your layer palette, and we need to make sure that everything is set up correctly. There's been some odd file issues that have been happening on some computers where some of the layers are missing. So if they're missing, you are going to have to fix this. So you should have a guide layer. See if I turn that on or off. You can see the graphics disappear and turn on and off. And then you've got a lock. So we want to leave this locked down. And then you should have a working layer. Now normally I would just name this work, but working layer, whatever you want to do is fine. So if you have these two layers, you're good to go. And to redock, all you got to do is hold it down. You'll see that highlighted blue thing that's going on. If you let go, it'll go back and it'll be part of the menu again. Okay, so to start this, you're going to zoom up and we're going to start with the V. Now this is a connect the dots. Straight up, it's connect the dots. But we have to make sure of a couple things. Make sure you are on the working layer. That way we don't get that little no symbol. And then you need to come over here and turn your fill off. To do that, you make sure you click on this box once, and then hit the no sign. I personally am going to up my stroke width a little bit so that I can make sure that you guys can see as I work. And this is pretty simple. So we're going to find the very beginning of this. It starts out with straight lines and angled lines, and it makes it easy. So the way this works is you find the center of your target, and you're going to click. Now once you have that, you hold down the shift key. Why is it curvy? That's odd. Okay, let me fix that. I'm going to try that again. Whenever just Control Z is undo. Okay, there it goes. I must have accidentally slightly pulled on it. All right, so when you hold the shift key, you want to aim for the center of that target. And then for the next line, because it is angled and it is not a 45 degree, you don't want to hold the shift key. So we're just going to connect the dots and aim for that center. And then again, we have this, and I'm just going to keep going. Hold down the shift key, let go of shift key, and then when you get to the end of a shape, you'll see that there is a little circle that is at the bottom part of my pen tool. You might not be able to see it from your seat, but you can see this in the recording. So if I click that, notice no more lines happen, and that means this shape is closed. And I can then denote that by giving it a color, and that one is done. The E works the same exact way. Just start and then just work your way around. Close it and then fill it with a color. Choose different colors for each letter. All right, now this is where things get a little crazy. So if you guys can focus on this, you can go back to the V after I demo this. All right, so when you get to the C, the O, and the R, the rules change up a little bit. You guys are going to have to use, you're going to have to pull on the little handles. So starting right here, if I just click, that's not quite what I need. So I'm going to backspace twice. What it wants you to do is it wants you to pull. So I'm going to click and hold this down, and I'm going to pull up until I get to the green dot. And what that does is it allows me to go ahead and start having a curve. Now I'm going to click and hold this one down, and I'm going to pull, and you guys can hold down shift if you want. And I'm going to overlap that. Now, ideally, when you overlap the little handle that's there, that's where you let go. Oh, and see, I made the mistake of forgetting to turn my fill off. So I'm going to turn that off, and I can keep going. Now, the next step, I'm going to click, and I'm going to pull down. You see I've got a nice straight line. Same thing. I'm going to aim for this, click in the center, hold it down, and pull straight up. And again, you can hold the shift key to keep, especially if you've got a wobbly hand, that'll allow you to do this. So I'm going to let go. Now, this, you can't have a straight line if it's in curve mode. So you have to break the anchor. To do that, see when I hover back over my point, it has a different little symbol. That means breaking the anchor. So now if I click on that point, I've got straight lines again. So I'm going to hold down that shift key. I'm going to click. But now I need to start pulling again. So I'm going to click and I'm going to pull all the way down. I'm going to let go. And you'll notice it's the same thing over and over. Click, hold down shift key, whoops, it let go on me by accident. So Control Z, and then you just pick back up where you left off. So you see that's not right. You got to go to this one. So if I let go, there we go. So I'm going to scroll up, and if you can hold down the space bar and allow you to move around. All right. However, you'll notice that I messed up. It has a little thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this anchor. And it's still messing up. Okay. I will break this anchor. Hold down the Shift key. Click. And now I'm going to go ahead and start up again. So click, Shift, pull, aim, click, Shift, pull, until I get down to that little marker. So anytime it's misbehaving, guys, don't be afraid to break the anchor and then, of course, close the shape. And then I will choose a different color for the inside and call that one a day, and then I will go on to the next letter. But in this case, I would go back to the E.